What do you feel like was the biggest challenge that you were facing before we started working together?
My biggest challenge was uncertainty. I had so many goals and just ideas and things I wanted to do, but I just was having such a hard time taking that first step. And I would get overwhelmed by the big picture of just, here's where I want to be, here's where I am now. There's this big gap. How do I get from here to there? So that was my biggest struggle.
So, what was it that helped you to shift from that uncertainty into being able to take action?
So two things. The first one was our very first session when you just created that visual image for me that had the darkness and the light. And we just went through all of my emotions. It was so helpful. I don't know why I had never done that before, but it was so helpful just to make the list of all the negative emotions on the dark side, but everything I didn't want, but I was currently feeling. And then on the light to put what I wanted. And I had never really taken the time to even decide or think about what I wanted, even though I probably knew that in the back of my mind, but I was so focused on the darkness and what I couldn't do that I wasn't even allowing any light to come in. And that visual was so helpful also because there was a little bit of light at the bottom of the darkness and then it gradually, gets brighter. And so it helped put it into perspective too. We don't necessarily need to go from dark to bright light even. You can start with this little a little flame right here and take that and just expand it, learn, let it warm your soul as you allow more light to come in. So that visual was the very first thing that was very, very helpful. Just that I had a choice also to choose. Do I want this? No, I can choose this. Just to put into perspective of what I didn't want, what I wanted. The next breakthrough was where you talked about negative emotions being like employees. And so it was time to interview the employee that I had in my mind, and her name was Uncertainty. And it was so fun because my mind is very visual. And as you speak, my mind creates these very detailed stories and images. And I have just enjoyed that so much. Also, what I loved about it is you told me I didn't have to fire her because I am also kind of a people pleaser. So I didn't have to fire her. I just had to give her a new role. And that felt so peaceful and so positive to me because I want to empower and help people be their best. And even though she was not doing her job, I couldn't fire her. So it's so fun. So that day, I was the CEO of my company and I invited Uncertainty into my office. And I just had a little interview with her and I just told her in my mind while you were talking, I just told her, you've been here for a while. What you're doing is not useful. And I don't need you to do that anymore. What I need you to do is to take action. I need you to change your role. We're going to change your role together. And we're going to give you something to do that will be more useful and productive and contribute to my team and help me reach my goals and where I want to be. And in my mind, it was so awesome because at first, when Uncertainty came into my office, she was very shameful. Her head was down. She just felt bad. I felt bad. Both of us, you feel the negative emotion in the room. And then as I told her that she was going to receive a new role, her chin lifted, her face lifted. She was so empowered. And I have used that so much since that day of, because every time even think the words, well, I don't know what to do, I just immediately go to, well, I don't need uncertainty. Let's take a baby step. Let's find something, one little thing that we can do today that will move us toward where we want to be. That was such a big thing for me and has been and will continue to be. I just feel like that's a tool I'll use the rest of my life is
I love it.
I don't need uncertainty. What I need is action.